Baggedmilk. 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 Oh, I smell baggedmilk. And I'm hungry like baggedmilk.
All right. What's going on? What the hell is happening, Baggedmilk?
Panic.
I'm honestly surprised at the panic a little bit.
It feels
To be
like their
honest.
season's over, doesn't it?
It's wild. Like last night, I'm doing the beat cast. I'm doing my usual thing post game. You always thought that they just got knocked out of the playoffs last night. It's wild. Like last night against Buffalo, the reality is the Oilers were, they had moments where they were sloppy, but they were the better team for the most part.
Yeah.
Just sometimes you have to credit a goalie that stands on his head.
I did see a story on Oilers Nation that the last 3 out of 4 Stanley Cup winners started their seasons that year that they won the Cup 1 and 2. So,
Well, and there's just this year even. The other night, Toronto lost against Arizona. Tampa Bay started 1 and 2. Minnesota's 0 and 3. Like this early part of the season, I think people are putting a little bit too much stock into it. That said, the Oilers have a lot of stuff they need to clean up in their game. They were super sloppy at points last night. They let in 3 goals in the opening minutes of the first and second period. Obviously, you need to cut that junk out, but I gotta say, I'm a little bit surprised that people are already walking to the bridge.
it feels like they're maybe feeling the pressure a little bit of like the pressure to perform and to get deep in the playoffs, and they're not comfortable on the ice. And that's because it's not like they're not getting out there and trying at the start of the game.
No.
It's just they're making mistakes and
Slow. That last night was again another slow
little,
start.
but it was a lot of like poor passes and
Yeah, they couldn't make a 5-foot pass to save their lives last night. There was a lot of drop passes to no one in particular, and it was just those are details that at the end of the season last year, when the Oilers were really rolling going into the playoffs, they weren't making these mistakes. And I assume, I believe they're going to clean all this stuff up. But
Yeah.
it's not ideal. I'm not going to say that it's ideal to start 1 and 2, but I also don't think it's the end of the world either.
Another sort of factor in this is a team like the Oilers with such a secure lineup, like top to bottom. They don't use the preseason like the teams like Buffalo. Like everyone is on the ice for Buffalo, fighting for a spot. A lot of young guys. Like you're seeing this with the teams that don't have a secure lineup. They seem more prepared right now,
a little more ready to
because they
go.
had 9 games to get going, whereas they kind of rested the top 6 for the most part through the preseason for the Oilers. So they're just maybe these games are kind of like blowing a little bit of rust off. Maybe.
Yeah, 100%. They're
Looking for any
absolutely
excuse.
Well, I've always got room for excuses, but there's also the reality is the Oilers need some of their guys to get going.
Yeah.
Evander Kane, no goals. Zach Hyman, no goals. Kaylor Yamamoto, no goals. Puljujärvi, no goals. Holloway got absolutely blown up last night.
Clean hit.
Yeah, that was a clean hit.
Yeah.
It was a suey by Warren Fogle. Unfortunately, Dylan Holloway took the brunt of it. Lyubushkin absolutely tagged him, but that's a clean hit. And I get it. You don't want to see your guys getting rocked like that, but that's part of hockey, unfortunately.
I hope he's okay, because he's blowing me away in the last month or so. So to see him walk off like that last night was a little bit tough. I want to get into this a little bit with respect to the Edmonton Oilers and where we're going. Is it safe to say that no, I don't even want to say it. I was going to say if we have the first 30 games where we're in the hole, I shouldn't even be saying it out loud.
It's just like 30 games is like 100 years from now, it feels like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I think you were right initially, Locke, where they're rusty. They're sloppy. They couldn't connect on passes. The breakouts aren't working. The guys are flying the zone a little bit early. They're not supporting each other down low. It's just, these are details they're going to clean up. I'm not like, if I had a 1 to 10, oh my God, meter, I'm still at 0. It's annoying. For sure.
No worry about Jack Campbell?
No.
That's where I was going to go, actually.
Like, it's just a no.
Okay.
I mean, the thing on Saturday night, like if you look at those goals against the Flames on Saturday night, which ones are we blaming Campbell for? Was it the breakaways? Was it the seeing eye shots through traffic? Was it his defensemen completely gaffing on plays where they could clear the puck out? I mean, yeah, you don't want your starter pulled, of course, but like, come on. The team in front of him needs to give him a little support too.
I can't remember if it was you or one of the other Oiler Nation guys that tweeted like, Jack Campbell just needs to get used to our style of defense here in Edmonton, which is zero defense.
Yeah, which is absolutely none at all. Yeah. Or I'm also floating the idea that the Oilers bring in Mike Smith to stand on the bench and yell at everybody because maybe that's what they need
That's
too.
not a horrible plan. The one thing about last night's game that I noticed, and I've been noticing this over the last couple of years, but my God, this game is getting fast. Both teams, like even Buffalo, just flying. Everyone is just flying. Is it just me? Like, is it? No. Okay.
It's not. This game's getting fast, and the guys like Buffalo is a team that's rebuilding. Nobody expects them to really do a whole lot this year.
Yeah.
But as you can see, they have players like Tage Thompson. That's not even a real name as far as I'm concerned. But they have players that if you make a mistake, they're going to burn you for it. The NHL is too good, bottom to top, that you have to be ready. You can't just go into games expecting to win, or you will lose like the Oilers did last night. And again, Eric Comrie played great. Career high, 46 saves. Ridiculous. But the Oilers made mistakes and ended up in the back of the net.
Grant brought up a really good point about the Comrie kid. Why is his nickname not the Brick?
Yeah.
He's a goalie.
His dad started the Brick.
Brick. I was calling him the Brick Kid this morning.
It just makes perfect sense. But then you know how it goes, Grant. Like nicknames in the NHL are so boring. His name is probably like Comsy or something.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
there's no thought put into it. It's just
Coms.
What's your first name, Eric, or your Eric C?
Yeah,
Eric.
that's just all they do. It's so boring.
Yeah. I'm worried about where we're at right now based on my love for trolling other franchises.
That's a problem.
I don't know how I'm going to be able to continue saying things like the team that was that has the best chance of winning all the Canadian teams winning the Stanley Cup lost again last night. I don't know how long I can continue to be using stuff like that if the Oilers continue to lose, right? And I was hoping to go the whole season, if I'm being honest.
Well, this is a problem. Like, we need the boys to turn this around too, because my mentions on Twitter are a real mess because I was insufferable all summer long. So I really need this to turn around, not just because I want the Oilers to win, but for my own personal enjoyment and ability to troll. This is very important, Locke. We need to figure this out ASAP.
Yeah, figure it out so we can keep trolling. Baggedmilk from Oilers Nation, thanks for your time, my friend.
Thanks, boys.
The Locker Room for Always Plumbing and Heating. Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.